not doing the video.
Oh.
It's too much aeration.
I am Rahul Dua. I'm the co-founder of Bhavan.
Hi, my name is Kainaz Contractor and I'm the founder of Bhavan.
So it's almost been 2 years now since we shut Rustam's. I know we still get a lot of messages, calls, DMs on Instagram. When are you opening? Why did you shut? Lots of such questions. How does that make you feel? What do you think about all of that?
Honestly, we did not expect this. Even when we announced that we were shutting, the amount of love and like literal outpour of calls and messages were just, it was crazy to see that. And till date, like it's going to be almost 2 years and we still keep getting calls and messages that when you guys opening. So it's really heartening to see that we didn't just build a brand or a restaurant, we actually built a space that people till date keep messaging that are you guys opening? When are you opening? You've written temporarily closed. Is it now permanently closed? So it's kind of a bittersweet feeling also that, you know, we felt really sad that we had to shut it. But at the same time, it feels nice that we built something over time that really mattered to people. And it wasn't just a restaurant that people came to eat at. There were a lot of memories attached to Rustam's. Like some people had their first date there, first job interview. After they got married, they came for their first meal. So there are a lot of memories that were attached to Rustam's that honestly, I can't put into words. So it is a bit like even now that we are doing the Rustam's pop-up, I just keep going through the messages and brings a tear to my eye. Yeah, it's sad. But it's nice. You remember how you'd first finish your service at Cafe Lota and then come to be with me for dinner service at Rustam's? Why do you think people loved Rustam so much?
Yeah, I remember those days. I think initially when we first opened Rustam's, I mean, I've spoken to guests who are like, what is a Parsi? Not who is a Parsi? And I think that was the whole point in the first place. Yeah. The only depiction of Parsis to people who are not from Bombay or Gujarat is sort of the comical interpretation that Bollywood films and Karam Khilanu, Juice Piwanu, but there's such a, for me, because I grew up in Bombay and I had lots of Parsi friends and going to their houses for meals, etc. There's so much richness to the culture, like apart from all the quirkiness, and that's what I thought Delhi needed to witness, Delhi needed to experience for themselves, and of course food ties into every bit of that culture. Yeah. So really scary times to explain people what the cuisine you're serving is after you've opened the restaurant. But I think every conversion in that sense was really rewarding and really fun to experience.
Sure.
So, like I said, back in the day, I mean, Parsi Cuisine was not at all familiar. It wasn't mainstream in the media at all. So, do you remember how we went through the process of deciding whether we wanted to stay authentic or sort of, you know, go easy and give people a more sort of workable representation of the cuisine and the original recipes?
Yeah, so that was a call I think we took very early on, that we didn't want to, because people were very, at least the people who were familiar with Parsis, they were familiar with a very quirky side to Parsi. So, and also on Bollywood, there were a lot of caricatures, a lot of, the representation wasn't what we would have liked to see. And also, growing up in Bombay, the only Parsi food that people knew about were the one, what was available at Irani cafes. And also, otherwise, if you had a Parsi friend, you would go to their house and, you know, the mother would feed you. So beyond that, I think people didn't know much about Parsi home cooking. And that was the idea, that we wanted to introduce people to Parsi food beyond what was available in your Irani cafes or what was popularized. We wanted people to know what we were eating at home. And also, since Rahul started Cafe Lota and the menu that he did there was very home style regional Indian, that really tied a lot with what we wanted to do together as entrepreneurs as well, which is why the decision to open Rustam's as strictly a home style Parsi restaurant was a very conscious decision, because we first wanted to introduce people to traditional home cooking as opposed to what was available commercially in cafes and stuff. So we have such incredible diner stories. Do you remember this one gentleman and his standard routine order every week? What's your favorite guest story?
Yeah, so much about a reason why I was so much in love with Parsi food, because I truly think it is addictive. Uh, a lot of Indian home style recipes are what you would call soul food recipes, things that you want to, get your feet up on the chair and eat with your hands, and bring you a real sense of comfort. And without having any Parsi affiliation or any such thing, I felt that sort of soulful connection the first time I ate Parsi food, and the need to sort of again and again dig into, like, whether it's Dhansak or snacks or anything like that. And it was really nice over the evolution of Rustam's, I think, to see people grab onto that and see real examples of that.
Yeah.
Like that, I remember that person ordering like Dhansak, I think at least for a year, every Friday afternoon. And for me, after Dhansak, all I can think about is my bed and taking a nap. So I'm surprised he got any work done in office after that. But it was really nice, I think, to have people go from not knowing anything about a cuisine to developing their favorites and then coming back for the same thing again and again. So it was really fun days.
I remember this one Navroz. I think maybe it was our first one or second one, I'm not sure. But there was a family who had come and it was their first time eating Parsi food. And I think the kids just flipped out on the Kolmi Fry. Like, they only ate starters. They must have ordered 10 repeats of the Kolmi Fry and they didn't get on to the main course. So, we were just like, there's more, like, why don't you try more things? And they're like, no, now we figured it out. This is what we want to eat. So, yeah, adding to his point that I feel like initially people were like, oh, we know about Dhansak, we know about Sali Boti, so let's order that. But over time, because they just kept coming back, they kept trying different things, people figured out what they like and what is their favorite. So I think that was really cute to see. And for us also, that to hear Punjabis and North Indians talking about, oh, bhatyani margi, oh, bida madai. And this is something that, my mom or like I never would hear anyone else talk about it. So that I think was, we won there, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, your dad was in the Navy, so you traveled to, I guess, 10 different cities when you were growing up as a child. What do you think carried on through all of these cities, like when it comes to food traditions in your house? Okay. What was it that was sort of uniform throughout, even though you traveled to different parts of the country and the world?
Yeah. So food was universal because around Parsi New Year, like when Navroz is there, you always go to the fire temple. You pray, you hang out with family. It's a celebration with your extended family. But because we were posted to so many places, most of the times family was not around. Fire temple, no chance. Like, we were posted to places like Port Blair, Cochin, Vizag. So, places like that, you don't have access to a fire temple, you don't have access to your family. So then it was just about food. So the traditions that we kept alive, more than the ceremonial things, were about the meals. And that's what we've tried to do at Rustam, wherein everyone in Delhi, I think, now knows Navroz, and they know the Navroz Bonu and the Navroz Thali, and that's about it. So, yeah, so traditions aside, I think keeping our food culture alive, that's what we have been doing. Okay, so I'm Parsi, you're Punjabi. What is your favorite discovery about Parsi food? Anything that helped you build your culinary sensibilities? Tough one.
I think the biggest revelation for me was khattu meethu, which is essentially sweet and sour. This unique and and I mean, you could start off a strange sort of balance of flavors that a lot of, not every, again, it's a misconception that every dish is khattu meethu, but for the dishes which do have that, I love it, and it was such a rewarding experience to train the chefs into tasting and understanding when you've reached that final balance. Like a Parsi cooking at home probably doesn't think twice before finding that balance.
Yeah.
But for us, people who haven't cooked Parsi food, it was a great challenge, and it was great to conquer that challenge and nailing it dish after dish, curry after curry. And I don't have a very big spice tolerance, so for me that was really fun to have savory food that had a touch of sweetness, but was also very well balanced with acidity and a bit of spice. So I think balance is what I would take as my biggest learning from Parsi cuisine and its dishes.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I think I have a good idea. But what are your favorite dishes from the Bhonu, from the Navroz Thali that we do every year?
The sarya, I freak out on sarya, which is the sabudana papad. Every time I have like a whole heap of it on my thali. So that is there. I love sarya. I love the keema patties, patrani machi, the mutton pulao dal. That's one of my favorites. Because generally, mutton pulao dal is something that you only have on special occasions or on Sunday if your mother is in the mood, but not otherwise. So it was just one of those things that, yeah, I love having these things. Obviously, all non-veg. I don't think I've had a single veg patru in my life. Like, I've not bothered to try that. But we do serve it. What do you love on a Parsi thali? What are your favorites?
So again, I love patrani machi. It's a very difficult dish to nail perfectly. Whether it's the cooking of the fish, whether it's the balance of the chutney, as simple as it looks, I think getting it right is really a moment of joy for me, and I love eating it as well. Zardaluni margi, again, chicken and apricots, things that I probably would not have been open to if I just read it on a menu. But Parsi rotli with Zardaluni margi, that is just, it's perfect, and it's just what I can eat that every day of my life.
Yeah. And I think that's what's so great about the Navroz thali also, is because people can try different things that normally they probably wouldn't order. And because you can, like, we do a selection of pickles, we do vegetarian pickles, we do non-vegetarian pickles, 4 types of starters, 5 types of main courses. So people actually get a chance to try a lot of things they would normally not order if you were coming and eating a la carte. So I think that is one thing that people have learned and chosen their own favorites because they tried a lot of things during Navroz.
What's the one thing you learned during your time at Rustam's that you're going to carry that lesson with you all your life?
I think honestly, with Rustam's, it was just the connection with people and how, like, honestly, brand building for us happened by accident with Rustam's. We were young, we just started a restaurant 10 years back. All I wanted to do was open a Parsi restaurant, and same for Rahul. So when we started out, it was just heads down cooking food and building a narrative around the brand. But I think that's when we realized the strength of a brand and how people, interact with your brand, how they also get kind of attached to the brand that you've built, not only just through your food, but through the ethos that you build in the restaurant, whether it's your service staff, whether it's the narration on social media or whatever. But I think that connect with guests, I think that is something that we've cultivated a lot over the past 10 years. So now it's like whatever we do, people know that, oh, these are the Rustam's guys who've done it, Like even with Bhavan, it was so surprising. Even though we opened in Gurgaon, the first 1 month, because there was a 2-3 week overlap between when Bhavan opened and when Rustam shut. So we were like, okay, you know, Bhavan is a completely different target audience, all that. And it was so surprising that half the people here were our Rustam's regulars. Because they were like, you know, we just love your food. So wherever you go, whatever you do, we are going to come to that place. So that I think is one of the things that we really value over our experience and our journey in this industry is building relations with people through your brand, even though you're not personally there. But it was just beautiful to see, very honestly.
What can the diner expect at the Navroz Thali on Thali Thursdays?
Of course, we'll be doing Navroz now after a 2-year break. So we, first of all, are really excited to get cooking the food itself because we and all my team of chefs inside have really missed cooking it. What you can expect is all you can eat thali with tons of starters, and you need to come with a big appetite and skip lunch that day preferably, because we don't like people who don't take repeats. So you will be force fed at some points during the meal, so you do have to be ready for that. If you're a non-vegetarian and you want to try vegetarian dishes, you want more of something, we do not judge at the Navroz Thali. We've had people eat 40 to 60 prawns per person and we have not stopped. They have told us to stop. So essentially, it is like a loved one or a family serving you a meal. That's what the whole sort of atmosphere and environment is like, and what New Year essentially stands for us.
Rustam's is back for one day only.
On the 21st of March, do join us for the Navroz Thali.
Think Thursdays, think Thali.